Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy.
Welcome to Real Estate Live with the Real Estate Guys, Aaron and Jacob Taylor.
We're keeping it real, we're keeping it current, and we're keeping it fun.
Las Vegas' #1 real estate show.
Talk to Aaron Taylor.
Call 310-MOVE.
Talk to Aaron Taylor.
310-MOVE. The real estate guy.
Spencer, what's this from?
Is this Sesame Street?
Oh, it's not Sesame Street, Big Bird.
I don't know. What
Come
is
on,
it?
Big Bird. Oh,
What is it?
Ron Howard, his little boy. He's walking
Happy
down.
Days?
He's walking down the
Say
street
Happy
with a fishing pole.
Oh, I don't
I
remember.
think it's Mayberry RFD, isn't it? Or the Andy Griffin Show. One of those two.
One of them.
Anyways, welcome to Real Estate Live on this beautiful
You
weekend
already stumped me.
morning. Stumped the chump. We stumped you right there. Let's get right into it, Jacob. Our sponsors, Fidelity National Title. Thank you for being there and always doing what you're doing. Julie, Cindy, Jen, Sam. We love you all and all the rest. Doing a great job. As usual, our place that we like to hang out with. I was there last night. Grape Street Cafe.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody
Now that's
knows your
cheers.
name.
That's our cheers, baby.
And they're always
Is it Grape Street our cheers?
Absolutely.
Sure is.
I had lunch there with Fidelity.
I know. I was there right after. I missed
saw
you by
you
a
pull
minute. Yeah, did you? Yeah. We love you, John McGibbon. Thanks for being you and doing what you do. Grape Street Cafe gift cards. We always have a couple to give out if you're special.
If you're special.
We'll give you out. And Neil Home Loan. Sheila Merrill.
Yes.
Need a loan, need a refi. Call us up. We'll take care of you.
All right. Awesome. We got some good stuff today, I think, right?
Houses of the week. If you want to get a hold of the real estate guy, call
702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE. We got a very special guest on with us today, our Nevada State broker.
Yes.
Our lifeline.
Thank you for waking me up early on a Saturday.
Come on, you don't enjoy getting up
I am
early
on call
a
this
Saturday?
weekend, so I'm okay with it.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your job, Spence, real quick. What do you do? Who are you the broker for? What do you got?
The best way I could compare it, I'm a fireman.
You're a fireman.
We're putting out fires pretty
Okay.
much daily. But I have help with that, right? So it's about answering questions, keeping the train on the tracks. You know, I got about close to 900 agents throughout the state, cover 6 MLSs. So we have close to 20 branch offices. Nice. So
Nice.
Yeah,
and,
we
and
got a-
we're
we
your
got a
best.
nice
and we're
ship.
your best one, right?
come on, number one. You guys are great.
go.
Never
Better say
have
that.
issues or problems or, you know.
Who bought you breakfast this morning?
You
Who
did.
brought you water?
You did. Well, I brought water too.
Who's your boy? Who calls you Peacer? We call him
you.
P. P. Diddy, Peacer.
I don't know about the Diddy one. Probably not the best.
Sometimes we
best
call him P. Diddy.
correlation there. I don't know.
So, just so you know, me and Spencer go back about 20-something years. We worked for Realty Executives together. He was in the office next to me, and he worked with this guy named Todd Bradle, and his favorite line was, really? He used to go in the office, and I would put how many families or deals that I did for the year, and I'd accumulate them. And he'd walk in the office, walk around the corner, and go, really? You know, how do you do that, man? What do you do? And then he coined the phrase "squeat." Actually, that was him. He coined the phrase. You know what "squeat" means?
Square feet.
Square feet. So you don't have to say square feet. You just say "squeat."
Give it a
How many
few
squeet is
syllables.
that?
Yeah, and he coined that phrase. And then Spencer joined us when we opened up our company, Coast to Coast Real Estate. Then he joined us, and he was our first franchisee in St. George, 048 Realty, our first franchise that we moved people all over the United States at no cost. I just think there's something there if you find the right people to do business with, but I still think there's something there.
maybe not
There's
the
something
people you
there.
did
I just
previously.
don't know
It has
to
to
be
do
able to
with pods.
scale it.
You can with pods.
You with pot?
Pods.
Pods. Okay.
No, we don't
I
do
thought-
pod anymore.
Well, as far as scaling
We
it
used
with
to,
pods,
Spencer,
yeah.
but we don't do that
No
anymore.
more pot.
Yeah, like instead of semis, going back and forth,
We do pods.
all that stuff. That's a little bit too much to scale.
And then 2008 came. Boom! Took our ego right out the door. Everything we thought we were, we weren't. And everything we thought we prepared for, we didn't. And bam.
We learned a lot, though.
We learned a lot. Wouldn't be the men that we are today. And now Spencer, we had our company. We still kept our company. Spencer came back, was the broker for 048 Realty for years. Then we all moved over to EXP together. And now he's the state broker for EXP. And you're doing a phenomenal job, Spencer Walden. Just want to give you that, Ramon. Little clap.
Thank you.
Let's see where Ramon has that soundbite. Let's see.
We just
Keep
The
clapping.
radio
We just-
effect. is great.
He doesn't. He doesn't have a soundbite. So Spencer, you've been with EXP now for 5 years.
6.
6 years. So I've been with EXP for 6 years.
Wow.
We love having you as the
6
broker. You're always accessible. What is, and we're going to play Stump the Chump a little later, not right off the bat. We're going to get through this first segment. We always play with our guests, Stump the Chump. And all it is we ask them questions. And we, if they know it or not, you're going to know them all because you're like a good broker.
What if I have a brain like,
Brain fart?
yeah.
That's all right. We all have them.
You know my biggest fear?
Hey, he's
As
a
a
broker
broker?
next to you.
You know my biggest fear?
Being sued.
No, that's easy.
Because that happens all the time.
That happens all the time. My biggest fear is not knowing the answer.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a fear. That should be actually,
It's a motivator.
that
because
should
it
be the
keeps me-
best thing
it
that could
keeps
ever
me-
happen to you because that means there's one thing you don't know. And you get to find out because I know you like to know everything.
I do.
So if you don't
like to
know,
read
it's
a lot.
like, oh, shit, I don't know that. Let's find out what it is.
Or I forgot it. I knew it once.
That will happen when you hit a
One
certain age.
time. Well, you probably only dealt with it once the last 20 years.
Well, there's certain, situations. Real estate is
Right.
situational. Every deal is different,
Yep.
right? And so you deal with one problem every 4 years.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Probably dealt with one situation one time.
Lately,
in
I'm
your
dealing
career.
with a lot of similar problems, though, that keep coming up.
I know what they are. I don't even have to tell me. I bet you I can guess it.
Name them.
Want me to guess it?
Name. I got 3.
Three similar problems.
Spencer, this
one out of the 3.
This agent wants me to list their house. These people want me to list their house, but I can't because it's listed with another agent, and it's not withdrawn unconditional. It's withdrawn conditional.
Oh, I get that all the time.
But that's
all
not
the
one
time,
of the
especially
three. though.
now.
That's not one of the 3.
More so now than ever.
That's not one of the 3,
One
but
of the
we do
3
get that a lot.
One of the 3 is for sure agency.
Because that's more of a
Agency?
best practice.
Okay.
You're not supposed to obviously reach out or interfere with
Top
the
3,
contract.
SRPD,
That's one.
for sure.
I'm having a lot of those.
Number 2,
I said agency.
Property management.
Agency disputes.
Property management, not so much.
EXP
because we
allow property management
No,
now?
we don't, and we hammer that pretty hard.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't get a lot of that because we don't do it.
Am I right over here? Is that not one of them?
What is it?
Agency disputes.
Be more definitive.
BBRAs?
Oh, yes. Clear cooperation, BBRAs, the changes that are happening.
Wow, Jacob's a broker.
As far as agency, who represents who, unrepresented buyers, who's paying the commission,
Right.
where can you ask for that commission, where can you market that commission or concession.
By the way, we're going to
All
ask you
that.
some questions about that. And we're going to take our first break because we got a lot to ask you. And
Wait,
we
what's
got
number
questions
3,
to
though?
ask you.
I got to know what's number 3. Number 3. What do you think number 3 is?
I said it.
No, you didn't.
SRPD.
No, that was number 1. Number 1 is SRPD. Number 2 is clear cooperation.
broker.
Agency. Number
I said
3.
property management.
Marketing.
How about
it's
I got
marketing
it.
fines.
No, bro, I got it. Stupidity.
Is it marketing fines or something?
We're going to take a break on that.
We'll come
Let's
back
end
to
it
it.
with stupidity. We'll be right back.
The real estate guy.
That's pretty fucking. That's it.
It's stupidity.
It's stupidity. You just didn't want to say it.
I got a question. Can we you can talk about commission as long as you don't give a number? Because I know it's always a fishy
Oh, bro,
subject.
no.
What do
You
mean?
could give a number.
You can give a number.
So you can do it. Nothing's changed. You just kept putting them in MLS.
I'm talking about like publicly and whatnot, talking about commission.
You can give a number.
Let's talk about it.
Agents are
Ask the
afraid.
question.
Bro, they're afraid. So I'm going to tell you what we're doing in Pahrump. I'm going to tell you on air. I won't do it now. But we're building a homes in Pahrump, and we have a sell center. And I'm doing some things, and I know I can do it. And everybody's like, whoa, you can't do that. Whoa. I'm like, you guys are pussies.
What are you doing?
Oh, I mean, everybody's afraid of it. Oh, you can't say commission. You can say whatever you want. You just can't advertise it in the MLS. That's the whole rule. And the whole rule was that and the BBA form signed. That was it. Nothing changed.
You can't advertise it anywhere to do with the listing. You can't put it in the lockbox. You can't put it in the description.
I can go on my website. I can advertise commission.
On your website?
Sure, I can.
Yeah. On your personal website?
Damn right I can.
Let's talk about
I
it.
can. I know I can. He would be freaking out already.
Let's talk about it.
I can go on social media and say, hey, we got this house. It's 3% commission for all agents. Come on and see it. We pay you 3% on this house. No problem. But people are afraid. Look at Spencer. Look at Spencer trying to think.
You know those email marketing flyers that people send out?
Yeah, you can do that too.
Everyone says it 3%.
You can do it on that too.
Everyone's using those right now. I've been seeing a ton more of those lately. Those email marketing flyers.
Well, because the co-op.
Right, they want to let everybody know.
Yeah. Aaron's right.
But they made it so, like, we had so many unnecessary meetings before it started because
it was unclear.
Because it was unclear.
Well, who was the one saying nothing was going to change from the beginning?
Still changes coming.
I said nothing was going to change as soon as I saw it. I've been saying that since the first training we did on it. I said nothing's going to change in the way we do business, just the perception.
There's still changes coming.
Well, yeah, like in terms of the actual paperwork and whatnot, I'm sure that's going to change for another 3 years.
Well, the type of delayed listing.
Oh, with the Zillow and stuff like that?
Well,
30, baby. 30.
Won't accept them, you know.
Jude?
What do you mean then?
We're all working here?
Well, it's a new status.
Good to go. Got it.
Thanks,
You'll have
Jude.
to elaborate more on that.
I got to see Baby yesterday. Yeah, she was so good. I haven't seen her in a month, bro. She's such a doll. Oh, my God. I was just like in heaven. And then she went to sleep. Had so much fun with her. Can't wait till she comes back. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. Spencer Walden, Nevada.
Number 3. What's it?
Nevada State Broker with EXP Realtor.
I'm hyped. I want to know.
All right,
What's number 3?
Comes down to get an addendum signed, and one of those addendums is solar.
Ah, solar is a big
Right.
issue. Okay.
So agents a lot of times will just add into the additional terms, solar to be transferred to buyer.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't even happen, and then they have to do it after.
Wait,
Right.
wait. You've actually had deals
Oh,
closed?
I've had deals closed.
What title company is
had-
closing that?
It happened. I
Oh,
had the
gosh.
deal closed, and
Don't
this is
even
why. Do
say,
you want to know
actually.
why it didn't close or transfer?
Why?
Because the buyer was an LLC. So if the
Oh,
buyer,
yeah, they won't let you do
if
that.
the buyer's an LLC or a corporation, the solar companies aren't going to allow the transfer.
Yeah, they don't do
They
it.
want it to be individualized
Personal.
and personal.
That's crazy.
Right.
The stricter regulations
so-
in a mortgage.
We fought this puppy for a year and then ended up putting it back on the market and selling it and finding an actual buyer and transferring it. Doing
I had
it
a flip that
correctly.
I had to deal with that because we buy it in our LLC
Solar.
and the solar wouldn't let us take it over.
Or the seller, for example,
So we paid
will-
it off.
The buyer doesn't get approved, and so the seller, right now I have one, the seller agrees to pay it off, take a note, financing to the buyer, and then the buyer doesn't pay.
Yeah, by the way, it's only financing. If you pay cash, you put it whatever you want. LLC, put a S corp, C corp, whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, it's a finance or a lease.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
it's
No, I've had
financial
that
ways.
exact situation happen like 2 years ago where a client purchasing a property, qualified to buy the home, had plenty of income, but the credit score minimum, he couldn't qualify to assume the solar. So we had to get the seller to pay it off just to make the deal work.
And there's time frames,
Like,
right,
that's
to deliver that
ridiculous.
paperwork. There's tax credits that may, the other side may not be aware that need to be paid or paid back.
Right.
The seller. So as a listing agent, there's procedures, best practices that you guys should be going through, especially as a listing agent with the solar. You should have that paperwork in line
We do it. You know why we do it?
because
You know why
you're good
we
at
are
your what
so
you
good
do.
at- you know
Because
we're-
you're not stupid.
No. No, we are.
Why?
Our girls are stupid. We
You
are
have good people
absolutely
around
stupid.
you?
Yeah. Our girls have been with us so long, they know
good.
exactly what to do. I don't have to remember.
Well,
702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE if you want to buy or sell a house. Can we jump right into a question?
go.
Let's jump right into a scenario.
Fire.
I'm going to kill two birds with one stone because what a lot of people don't know is that we build homes in Pahrump. Did you know that, Jude? Mm-hmm. You had no clue, huh? Mm-hmm. You didn't know.
I knew.
What did you know, Jude?
I heard you say it like 30 seconds
Oh,
ago.
Jude knew. Ramon, did you know we build homes in Pahrump?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Okay, so we build homes in Pahrump. Right now we have six homes being built. We're going to have one model. It's right off the main drag. And our model home, we're going to have flags and the whole 9 yards. We're going to sell all new homes in Pahrump. We're going to sell homes on an acre in Pahrump. And we're going to work very friendly and cooperate with all of our Pahrump realtors and pay them a 3% commission on our new home builds on the total purchase price. Now, we're going to put a big sign out there, Spencer, and we're going to put, we love our Nevada realtors, Pahrump, 3% co-op right here. Can I do it?
I don't like the word co-op.
Well, what? Okay, we pay 3% script
Buyer broker fee.
cash. Can we put cash?
Managing broker JT Taylor.
But we
Can your pops do that?
Can I do it?
I think he's
Is he walking a fine
he's
line?
walking a very fine line, and if you want to be the one to test the precedent and fight it, sure,
He could do
you've
it.
always
I
been
can
the
do
one
it.
that's done it.
He could do it.
No problem.
He could do it.
Spencer's going to get a call
This is
when I do
coming
it.
down, guys, to the clear cooperation policy in the settlement, right? The
Okay.
NAR settlement, which basically states from 1 day of public marketing, you have to put it on the MLS. Before, the listing agent would go negotiate that commission, the total commission, right? The total
Right.
commission for the deal. The buyer's side also. And so that agreement was made at the listing appointment.
Right.
Now that agreement is made pretty much in the offer or with the buyer broker, right? And so now those agreements are separate. So when it comes to putting it in the MLS, the whole argument is that we were colluding and cooperating and getting together and saying, hey, this is what the fee and should be. Right. And so it comes down to entering it into the MLS.
That's it.
Right. You could put it on a sign, for example, the sign in the yard, 3% commission, buyer broker's commission. Right. You could put it on a flag like he's doing.
Okay.
You could put it on your website. You could put it on a mass flyer.
That's why it makes no sense
You just
why they
can't-
even did
you
what
just
they did.
can't put it in the.
has
You can't
to
put it in the
do
lock
with coming
box.
together.
Can I
and
do
Put it in
this?
the MLS.
I got one for you. Can I do this in Pahrump? 3% managing broker co-op to all.
Don't use the word co-op.
Okay, what do you want me to use?
Commission.
Okay, 3% commission to all Pahrump realtors except for the ugly ones. Can I put that?
Except for the ugly ones?
Except for the ugly ones.
No.
Why not?
Because
It's discrimination.
How does it discriminate? Who's going to come in and go, I'm ugly?
Wait, is that a protected class? I don't think.
Dude,
I
it's
don't.
not.
ugly people are not a
I can
protected
absolutely do that.
I don't think. Ugly
Is an
people are
agent going to come in
protected.
and go, that's discrimination. I'm ugly and you're not paying me? I don't
But what
think
if
you're
you-
ugly.
I mean, the
Yeah, I don't
only
think you're
case
ugly.
it would be discrimination is if there's someone that came in and actually
You're
didn't
not
get
doing
paid.
How about this? 3% commission to all Pahrump realtors that have teeth. Can I do that?
Well, now you're saying, okay, is it a disability to not have teeth?
Yeah, that's a protected class.
I don't know. I think
I
you
would
can-
say it is.
That's a
I mean,
protected
am I
class.
going to gum my steak?
I don't know about the ugly one
mean,
though. I would love
I
to
like
see
the
that
ugly
one fought
one.
in court. That one would be an
The ugly
interesting
one's
fight.
great.
Like, is it a really protected class?
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not
But that would be so funny because agents would go, oh, that's messed up. They're not going to pay. No, wait. I'm not ugly. I can see an
stir some
agent
drama.
walk into our sales office going, that's kind of bullshit because I'm ugly. Does that mean you're not going to pay me? And our standard response would be, I think you're beautiful and we're going to pay you 3%.
It's an interesting thought. It would generate. It might generate some really good media.
You know what?
I kind of like the idea. For
I think we're
marketing
gonna do it.
purposes.
Bart, do you hear it?
Jeez,
Pahrump
I'm going to
people?
get phone calls.
We pay
You're gonna see a
3%
lot of
commission to all Pahrump
I want
realtors
the
except
public
for the
to
ugly
know.
ones.
The public needs to know this is what I deal with.
Call for details. You can say whatever you want if you put call for details.
Jeez.
We're going to talk about the
Wild
real
gun.
estate market.
Hey,
if you're listening,
I can
wondering,
already see it,
I'm
though.
not
It's gonna be
learning
good.
anything here. We're going to talk about what's going on, our opinions in the real estate market. I do have a question for you, though, because we're going to play Stump the Chump. I got a few questions for you. It's Stump the Broker. And, you're sharp as a tack, Spencer, so here we go. Spencer, let's say a buyer calls you and says They want to buy a house with no roof, no walls, and no foundation. What form do we use to write it up? Or do we just hand them a tent and wish them luck?
It would be a vacant land offer.
That was beautiful.
Good job, Spencer. I'm not even giving you multiple choice. I'm just asking you the question. Every other guess, we have to have them do a multiple choice because we have to give them some options so they can guess. Spencer doesn't need to guess. If an agent accidentally lists a house in Area 51 and says it's move-in ready, are we legally required to disclose the aliens or just the leaky roof?
A material fact if the buyer asks. Definitely the leaky roof.
The leaky roof only, right?
And I don't know how you can accidentally list a house.
No.
What if it's a material fact they see aliens in their yard?
Disclose it.
Pretty much. So this goes back to if an agent knows it and the seller doesn't put it on the SRPD. I'm going to give you an example. Here's a big one. I know that in a certain area that all the windows in this entire area are bad. Not bad because they were defective, bad because they're 40 years old and they're just falling apart. You know what I mean? Not the cracks in the windows, but just everywhere, right? Just falling apart. But the glass is still there. The seller says, I don't want to put that there's anything wrong with my windows. They're still there. They're just old. She goes, I'm old. Do I have to disclose that I have arthritis, that I have leukemia, that I have? No. So she goes, so me knowing that they're bad.
They are bad?
Well,
What define
They're
bad?
old.
Do they function?
How do you know
Do
they're bad?
function?
Old doesn't mean bad.
because I walk up
Are
to,
you a licensed inspector?
No, but I walk up to the window and I can touch the frame and it breaks. It's
So
just,
you know they're bad.
but they're still in place and they're still working. They're just
But they're
old.
bad.
I think it's more cosmetic.
Right. That's
Then
what
they're
I'm
not
saying.
bad.
Define bad. Exactly. You have
So-
to get moist.
If I mean,
Specific.
the SRPD is between them. That's
Correct.
their form. I don't get involved
Correct.
in that form.
However, if you know they're bad and she marks no on the SRPD that there's nothing wrong with them, but you know they're bad, you have to disclose.
Well, it's almost like old people. Sometimes an old person's bad, but they're not sick. They're just bad. So does that
Why
make
are we
it?
What are you
using the
talking
word
about old?
bad?
What,
We gotta
what
stop
do you mean?
Because I'm old.
Trump's old.
And Trump's Trump. That's a whole different subject. All right, I was being funny, but seriously,
No, seriously
they're
though.
they're not defective. They're old, and it's almost like a sink. I mean, let me give you an example. If you have a tile countertop in a sink and it's really old, it's not broken, but there's loose tiles, and there's the grout's gone in a lot of places. And do we have to disclose that?
Well, it's also there's defects that are out and out in front of you that you can see, right? So that particular thing, the buyer is going to walk through and see it, right?
He may.
He may or may not. Depends if there's dishes all over the counter, right? Then that would be a latent defect. But as far as the SRPD goes, if you know that there's something that is not functional or broken, you have to disclose it.
The seller
Whether-
doesn't want me to, and I said
Doesn't
to do
matter
it.
what the seller wants.
But the seller said they're not broken. So why are you
Are
doing
they
that?
broken?
That's
Nope.
that's the real question. We have
If
to
you're
define
saying no,
what we have to define.
and then
what
you
the
have to
windows
say,
are.
okay, am I overstepping my bounds as an agent? Your job is to sell and market houses, right? Not to inspect it, not to say you're not a general contractor that is supposed to go in and identify the condition of a home.
Yeah, so what's going to happen when the inspector goes in there after they
He's-
get it under contract and he opens the window and it falls apart?
Yeah, he's going to write the request of repairs, and that's another one. That's probably the fourth biggest problem I have right now.
Repair requests
The
not
re-
being done in time, not
being
responding
done.
in time.
Buyers agents right now
They
are
should
writing.
they need to clean that up.
They need to clean up their due diligence period.
No,
First of all,
in the contract, it needs to be cleaned up. What was wrong with it where it was before, where you had 10 days or whatever you put, and you put a dollar amount? What was wrong with that?
as far as the either or.
Up to $1,000
Up
for
to
repair. Up to
$1,000, yeah.
50. Well, I mean, either way. But what I don't like about it now, it's vague on.
Well,
if you put 10 days,
10 days too
Either
short.
party can drop the ball and it expires.
10 days is too short.
Or 14 days.
Right.
Whatever the days are, either
Ramon, you
party
gotta
can
turn
drop
that
the
off
ball.
now, please.
Yeah, either party can drop the ball and it expires.
Well, exactly, and it expires,
If
and
it's
the
14
buyer
days, I can send you the
the
repair
buyer
request.
accepts it as is at that point. The buyer moves forward unless they
Even if
cancel.
the seller doesn't respond.
If the seller doesn't respond,
Well, that's why
the buyer can send over that request of repair. Let's say it is 10 days.
Right.
The buyer can send it over on day 8. The seller can sit on it for 3 days,
And then it's
and if the
expired.
buyer doesn't cancel on day 10, they accepted that property.
that contingency's
as-
over
Right.
with.
It's
So
over
that's
with.
why in our offers and what we've trained our team to do is to include verbiage in there that for every day the seller doesn't respond, due diligence is extended.
And that's a great clause, and that's in our clause section, right?
Yes, someone
Yeah.
just sent us that.
We've been getting
The other
it.
day on
I've
one
been
of our
getting it
houses. I
countered,
thought it was
though.
brilliant.
I've
Yeah,
been
that's
getting
in
it
our
count-
clause
we
It
section.
use
extends one day for every day they don't.
We
Yeah.
You don't know this, but we use it on all of our buyers.
Yeah, go into the transaction desk or SkySlope. Go into the clause sections. There's tons of clauses that the brokers have written for you guys. That's one of them.
Yep, we
Right.
like that one. Use it on. I trained our agents to use it on most all of our offers.
Also,
if you're-
earnest money is a big one.
Right, you're not seeing it get deposited. in
Well,
a
if
timely
it doesn't
manner.
get deposited, the
Technically.
earnest money in Nevada is not a material fact.
Okay.
So that means that the seller can't just go out and cancel because the buyer didn't deposit earnest money.
Ernest or Ernest and Frank?
Really? So
Right.
wait. So if it's not deposited in the time frame,
It says,
in the
okay,
contract,
in the contract says it'll be deposited within 3 days, right?
Right,
From
right.
acceptance. Let's say the buyer doesn't do it within 10. The seller can't just issue a cancellation,
got it.
right? So,
So what happens when they pass contingencies and then they back out and they never deposited EMD?
It happens, right? And so,
So it's not a material fact.
and so
okay, I'm
would-
learning something new here.
And so as far as we've included a clause to where if the EMD does not get deposited, then the seller does have the right to cancel, and the buyers, the seller can cancel and terminate that purchase agreement should the buyer not deposit that money.
In that
But
same
it's not in our RPA.
right in that conversation, I do have a question about earnest money. So we accept an offer over the weekend. The buyer says they have 3 days to deposit earnest money, right? And that's 3 business days, I'm assuming, correct, Spencer? 3 business days. So that gives them till Wednesday because we accepted it on Friday. So that would mean Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know we're in contract. Matter of fact, I talked about this with somebody yesterday. That's the only time in a contract per statute of frauds, if it's not agency or partnership, that you don't need consideration. You don't need earnest money because it's a contract.
Love and good faith.
Right? It's a contract.
Yeah.
Can I keep the property marketed and take backups until EMD is deposited?
No.
Why?
The MLS rules don't allow it. So it has to be under contract show
Right. And so I've had that issue where I had a client
where you
who
can take
was-
backup offers.
A client was upset because we put an offer on something, got accepted, and they would not put it into under contract show until earnest money was deposited.
No. That's
I
not
didn't
how
think that
works.
was allowed.
It's got to be. It's got to be. So Monday we got to put it in contract.
Yeah,
show.
you got to put it under contract show. And that's another thing with these wholesalers out there. That's another issue that I'm having is wholesalers going to agents. They have a contract on the property, right? Because they're looking to turn the paper, right, for an assignment fee.
Right.
Their intention it was never to close on the property.
No, it's to
right?
find
'Cause
someone
they don't
else
even have
who
the
can
money.
close, right.
Most of the time,
That
they saw
happens.
a
That's all of
commercial.
them. Most of them.
Right? And so they tie the property up. The seller really doesn't have a true buyer. The wholesaler then goes out, hires a realtor, lists the property on the MLS, which they should not be doing, right?
Right.
As available. But is that property truly available? No, it's under contract.
Yeah.
Right? And the wholesaler, number one, doesn't have the right to market the property.
Right.
They have the right to
entertain
market
any
the
rights.
paper.
Right.
There's only one wholesaler that I know of who uses their own money, and he's been doing a great job. That I hear Noah Herrera, my buddy Noah, Christian's dad.
Right. Is he wholesaling?
Well, he's been buying a
he's
lot
been
of
buying
properties.
a ton
He's
of
getting his
properties.
kids
Is he
involved.
licensed
But he uses
agent?
his money.
Yeah, but I don't think he's wholesaling.
Well, he's buying them, flipping them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not wholesaling.
He's not wholesaling.
Not wholesaling, flipping them. But he uses his own money.
Yeah. So agents beware, sellers beware.
Yeah, it's
So,
a crazy trend on TikTok right now. Like all these kids are sitting at home and they're doing videos about wholesaling and living in other states and just tying up properties and finding a buyer. And they're like, you don't even need a license to do it. Just start making calls.
Yeah, but no one's going to take you serious.
Well,
A
there
lot
are
of them,
people
though.
doing it. There are people doing it, making $15,000, $20,000 a month, just getting 2 or 3 deals wholesaled, or one deal, right? If you get at the right price, and they're making money without a license, without any education, just following this little quick guide on TikTok.
Hey, Jake, can we get to a couple homes of the week? Because I told a buddy of mine that you'll know that I got to do this house for him and our other houses, just so we make sure. Because Spencer, we have
real quick, and then we'll take a break.
Okay, we have so many clients, Spencer, that buy homes and sell homes from our radio show that plays on 2 stations and our podcast. So that's one of the ways we market when we meet the seller, because we're always looking for serious sellers, right? Serious sellers, serious buyers. That's our motto right now. And so we get calls going, man, I heard that house on your radio show. Tell me about it. And then we double in the house, right?
I love it. It's about exposure, right?
Yeah, but let me get this one on the phone, because remember Mike Mortensen?
Right.
Buddy Mike?
Right.
We got his mom's house listed.
Okay.
And we have it listed for $640,000, Jacob.
All righty. Tell me about the house.
It's 6225 Gambetta Street. It's a 1-story, 3-bedroom, 2494 square feet. The house is only 2 years old, built in 2023. Nice house. Current, modern, open floor plan. Just dropped the price. And we're looking for people that want to buy a beautiful single story. So if you want, and if you're that person, call us. 702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE.
We'll jump into our other houses
Go.
of the week after a minute. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. See you guys in 2 minutes here. We missed our second break.
Oh, we did?
We did. Go to break.
Let's go.
Ugly people, ugly
there are
babies,
ugly-
all ugly stuff.
Look,
whatever.
if it's an ugly baby or an ugly dog, we're all in consensus here. Ramon, you tell us. The uglier the baby and the uglier the dog, the more cuter it is. And you can never tell the owner of that baby or that dog that you think they're ugly, because that would be just rude.
Yes, you can.
I don't know. You can.
That reminds me of that Seinfeld episode.
That'd be really tough to do.
Anyways, all right,
go.
we're
Next
jumping
house.
into these houses of the week.
702-310-MOVE. 702-310-6683. Call the real estate guys. Go, Jacob.
4217 Jadestone Avenue, listed May 2nd. This property is 3 bedrooms. It is 2 baths. And it's on a 7,000 square foot lot. It is a single story. Let's see here. Oh, it's a manufactured home. Manufactured home over there in 89108, listed for $289,900.
Can't buy anything for $290 these days.
Under 3. Oh, it's in Jade Park.
Yeah.
I love Jade Park.
1,400 square feet.
I've sold a place in there before.
It's real
Jade Park
property,
is-
7,000 square foot.
Oh,
lot.
it's all converted. Awesome.
Yep.
Easy to show.
All
All
right.
right, next. 311 Inverness Avenue. Did I say that right?
We're in the
311
low.
Inverness Avenue
Yes.
here. This one was built in 2003. This is a manufactured home as well, and it is listed for $224,900.
This is in Pahrump.
Is it? 89048. Wow. Okay, 1,200 square feet on a 2,600 square foot lot. It is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a den. And
It's
a
55
carpet.
and over.
And 55 and oh, it's in Desert Green,
Yeah,
55
so
and
thank
over.
God that 90% of everybody in Pahrump is 55 and over.
You're good. You should be good there.
You should be okay. But what can you buy for $224,000? Nowhere. You know our new homes that we're building? The first 6, Spencer, they're all like 1,300 square feet. Brand new, modern,
Yeah,
contemporary.
what are you putting them on?
$329,000.
On an acre?
No, these are on 8,000 square foot
Oh,
lots.
okay. Because before you said they were an acre.
No, our acre properties that we're buying, you can get 1,650 square feet, 3-car garage, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath,
It's like a 6-car garage too. I've seen the
under
plan.
$400,000
Wow.
And the garage is like
with
40
water
feet
rights.
deep.
With water
So
rights.
it's going to be like
Wow.
full
With
on a
water rights.
6-car.
Bro,
That's $20,000 right there.
bro, you can't buy that anywhere. In Vegas, it'd be $1 million, brand new on an acre, right?
Plus, yeah.
In Pahrump, it's in at 500. The builders are selling them for 500. We're going to be under 4, probably 380, 390. Acre and a quarter, 1,650 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 3-car garage for $400. You can't. Where are you going to get that? Brand new, enclosed front yard landscaped. Pretty good, right?
You're going to have a line.
We are.
You know what I was thinking also with the whole clear co-op, back to that a little bit, just because buyer's agents, when the market gets hot and there's starting to be lines like this, right?
Right.
Buyers at this point right now are submitting offers to the sellers to get that fee, that brokerage fee covered, right?
Right.
In a hot market, will that happen?
Will we still pay the agent?
The seller
Will the seller what?
still accept an offer, paying that broker fee?
Well, we
or
will.
do you think they'll? I know you will, but a lot of, because
it's
you
gonna be
like
tough,
you're is the seller gonna want to pay a broker fee when they got 21 offers?
Right. No, here's the thing.
Don't
'Cause you
have
can
to.
only go so high.
They don't have to,
You can
right?
only go so high before you're worrying about appraisal. So how else are agents going to come up with smart ways to write offers?
So
gonna
there's
be
going to
delay.
be a big, lesson learned, I think, for the buyer's agent on proving their value.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
'Cause you're gonna
Yeah,
have
if
because
they
on
don't
the
have
other
a
side of the
buyer's
coin-
presentation, then you're missing the boat.
Oh, you're way behind.
Yeah.
Way behind. And on the other side of the coin, if you are representing that buyer and submitting that offer, number one, it matters how that offer is written.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's clean,
Yeah.
if it flows right, if the contingencies are there or waived or not, because you're competing against 21 other offers. 10 of those offers are just,
They're getting thrown out immediately.
What
Yeah.
agents don't
After-
realize
after
on
presented,
both
of course.
sides is that they need to fight one fight.
one fight.
Price. You're asking for
It's the net.
1,000 for closing costs, 5,000 for you're asking for a couch. Fight the price. You're pissing people off once you start going beyond that.
Well, here's the problem with that, though, when the market gets hot, is you can't just fight the price because you're worried about an appraisal. Of those 21 offers, probably 15 plus are loans.
True.
So how do you compete with these other offers that are above list price, only worrying about price? Well, you can't. That's when you get into the nitty gritty where you say, I'm going to offer, no, I don't want any buyer's agent commission. My buyers are going to pay for mine. I'm going to come in clean and pay for your closing costs. I'm going to pay for your title policy. I'm going to pay for your transfer tax. I'm going to pay for your escrow fee, right? Whatever you could come up with, because you can't go too high in price. What are you going to do when the appraisal comes in $10,000 below your offer price because you just went up?
You know what you
How are you
can
going
do?
to get smart?
I'm just talking out loud. You might stop me here, and I don't know what maybe this even pop in my head, but no, that was stupid.
All right, one more home.
Let's go.
One more home.
6737. At least I realized it was stupid. I was going to say something dumb, and I'm like, no, that I had to work through it. 6737 Divers Loon Street, 424 900. It's off of 215 in Decatur North in a community called Deer Springs. It is a 1,685 square foot single story, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, built in 2006. Charming single story, and it is 424,900. This property suite includes walk-in closets, relaxing tub, separate walk-in shower, energy efficient ceiling fans throughout, design floor plan.
This is coming soon.
Oh, and it's coming soon, so it's not even on the market yet. So,
All righty. There we go. What time we got here?
can we market that, Spencer, if it's not in the MLS?
Yes.
We did okay with that?
Coming soon. So
Oh.
coming soon. The only thing is coming soon, it doesn't get syndicated. So you
Right.
just have to market it as coming soon. So on your sign, for example, you have to have a coming soon rider.
Right.
You have to say it's coming soon. You can show the property in coming soon status. You can accept offers in coming soon status. It's all treated the same. The only thing different is the
not
way you
going to
market it.
Zillow,
It's
Yeah,
kind of like,
market
if you
it.
think about it,
It's on the market.
they're all coming soon.
They're all coming. It's on the market. And
I mean,
there's also the
What does
new
coming soon mean? 1 year, 5 years, 10 years?
There's also the new delayed status coming out, right?
oh my God.
With say this
Let's
just
throw another
again.
layer on it.
Yeah, we could keep digging.
Yeah. Well,
but
anyways, let's go ahead and take our
Last break, we're going to come back
real
talk about
quick.
the market because our listeners, our loyal listeners, they really want to know what's going on.
Sure, why not? We'll
Right?
tell them.
And there's been some changes, I think.
I heard there's no buyers out there and inventory's flooded.
Oh yeah, the market. I'm telling you, we're at a point of a recession.
above 9,000, aren't
We're
we?
going to drop by about $100,000. So hold on and listen to this. We'll be back in a minute because we market so much that we get people that just say they don't like us or they hate us or they
You get the haters.
yeah, just because we market on social media and everything.
stupid jingle at the ballpark, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it anymore.
I get
Thanks for letting
messages
us
like,
know.
The,
Appreciate
the
it.
real estate queer. Like, really, dude? Come on, that's like
I remember that
that's
one.
original. Just stupid stuff. And at least
we love it.
bad publicity, bad comments are just as good as the good ones, I guess. People hear us. We have something besides the pro-up that's coming up. I sent it to JT yesterday. I'm not going to say what it was, but did you like what I sent
I
you?
really liked it.
Hey.
It's some good ideas. Hey, you're getting
I'm
smart.
on to something.
In your old age here, you're getting real
Bro,
smart.
I am on to something that's going to set you up to where you're going to be like, wow, you're going to look back when I'm an old man and go, my dad was really
that was
smart.
The smartest thing you've ever done right there.
Yeah, it really was. I'll tell you about it when we're done here. But let's talk about the market. Inventory is rising. We're not going into recession, but our inventory is rising.
Oh, no, the market's crashing.
Uh-oh.
You heard it here first.
There is a change. And here's the thing. I was talking to Julie and Sam yesterday briefly, like you and Paul were. Uh-huh. Our market's changing weekly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would say every week or two, we have a shift. They get a
Different
lot of
feeling.
openings. They get no openings. We get a lot of closings, no closings. Inventory rises a lot one week and then stays even the next. So, but overall, our inventory is rising by about 400 homes a month, 500 homes a month is what I'm seeing.
That's pretty safe to say.
And our sales, obviously our sales are higher than they were last year because we have a lot more inventory.
Actually, sales are a little down.
Oh, they're still down. And we
Yeah,
had
they're
less
down.
inventory.
Yeah.
We had half as much.
It's a different market. It's an ever-changing market, like you said. There is uncertainty in the air in general right now, I think, and that's what's causing people to be a little bit scared. But what we're noticing, I was watching George talk about this with Craig the other day. The people we're seeing the worry from this time around, instead of like compared to 08 where everybody was scared crapless, right? No one wanted to buy anything. No one wanted to do anything. We're seeing, 700, 800 plus, no worries. People are still transacting. It's really the main worry is coming from the bottom end of the market right now, where people are being a little bit more hesitant. You're seeing the luxury market do absolutely fine. Things are selling. If you're priced right, you're getting activity. You're selling. But the lower end of the market, the price points are a lot more wary right now. We're seeing inventory flood some of those communities to where, there was only 3 or 4 homes to choose from maybe in a 200-home community beforehand, and now there's 10, right? So it's driving those prices down a little bit. Those, maybe smaller lot size communities, 2-story stacked homes. We're seeing, 10 or 15 listings in those communities all of a sudden. And they're all, competitive. You see the 1 or 2 that's 20,000 above all the rest of them for no reason. But I think
You got to be priced in the top
and
4
here's
in
a
there.
prime example. Are you done, Jacob? Go ahead.
Go.
Here's a prime example.
Only got
why
3 minutes.
People always ask, should I buy a house right now or should I wait? So when you look back at what happened in 08, 9 or 10, the people that were losing their house was because they were in a bad loan. But you still, and we did a lot of short sales, but we stopped people from doing short sales
arms.
if they were in a good loan, because I said, look, your payment's this payment. You're not going to rent for anything less. You might be 100 to 200,000 upside down in your house, but your payment is less than what you're going to go rent for. Just hang on, right? People don't do a short sale because they're underwater. They do a short sale because they're in a bad loan.
Right.
So
they can't afford to pay.
Right. So the people you were talking about today, that we had some buyers that were in a bad loan and they did a short sale. And they're afraid about buying a house again because they don't want to get in the same spot. Well, my philosophy to that is, if you pay rent, you're paying someone else's mortgage off. If you buy a house that's $500,000, more than likely in your lifetime, the house is going to be worth less than you paid for it and more than you paid for it, right? You just can't be forced to sell when it's high or low. If you're forced to sell when it's high, you're lucky. If you're forced to sell when you're low, that's unfortunate. That means you got a job transfer, but you still don't have to sell. So you never lose because you need a place to live. Right. So let's say you buy this house for $500,000. You're good with your payment. You're in a fixed rate. Your payment's $3,000 a month. Hey, I'm good. I have a job. The market crashes and now it's worth $400,000. You still need a place to live. You're still paying off the loan. You sit there and you be patient. you're not.
You didn't lose anything.
You didn't lose anything because you didn't sell anything.
And we know the market's going to come back around. It's just a matter of
That
time.
house will be worth $600,000 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years later. Hey, and you're paying your principal down still. So you can't panic. You need a place to live, buy a house. You need a write-off, buy a house. You want to stop throwing money away to rent, buy a house.
Right.
Can you refinance if the rates go lower? Yes, buy a house.
And if you want to get into the nitty gritty and the actual numbers, right? You sit with our lender and go through the cost of waiting, right? The cost of waiting to purchase a home, right? Maybe that first year, maybe that second year, you're not fully making all your money back, right? You're paying a little bit more than you would on the rental, and maybe you have some maintenance fees and this and that. But by year 3, by year 4, it makes absolute sense to own a home. It just does.
Jacob, we're done.
I know we got no time. It was a good show today.
It was, but it went by so fast, P.
Yeah, thanks for joining us,
Did I
Spencer.
talk too much?
No.
I think
fast,
we
huh?
talked too much.
Spencer
today.
Walden, EXP broker, Nevada State broker. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having
You
me.
do a great job. 900 agents. That's a lot of agents to have to manage.
It is.
It really
but
is. Jacob
I have
Taylor?
a great team behind me.
Great job as usual. Real estate guy, you're doing great, son.
Thanks.
And Jude, thank you. Ramon,
You too. Great job.
good job, Ramon. 702-310-6683. 702-310-MOVE. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, give us a call. The Real Estate Guys.
We're out.